Yeah, so good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So now we are done with peer review last night, okay? And now we'll start with what? Quality review. Peer review, I guess, more or less everyone is now thorough with the concept what peer review demands. Similarly, I told you the quality review, some basics about the quality review process as well, right? So, quality review, I told you that it is constituted by whom? Quality review board. Quality review is done by quality.
Central government.
So, quality review and peer review, if you see, the quality review is done by quality review board, right? And peer review is done by peer review board. So we'll just quickly have a glimpse of certain differences between peer review and quality review so that our way ahead for the quality review chapter becomes easy and comprehensive. So peer review is done by peer review board, quality review is done by quality review board. Quality review board, I told you about, is constituted by central government. Peer review board is constituted by ICI council, correct? So you can imagine the difference in the approach as well. The quality review is going to be much wider and is going to be in depth, and also any sort of modification that you find, that is here, if here I told you yesterday that if at all there is a modified report to be issued, if peer reviewer is issuing modified report, then what does he do? In case the peer review report is modified, final report is not clean, not unmodified, but it is modified peer review report, then what does that will follow with? Quickly tell me. In case of modified report, what will happen? Yes, it's not even more than 12 hours since our discussion last night. Do you remember reporting? It could be that the
Although
yeah, Vija.
there will be review again after 6 months or 1 year.
Review, come again.
There will be same review again after 6 months or 1 year.
Yeah, so follow on review can happen, right? Follow on review can happen after 6 months. Normally it is done after 1 year, but that period of 1 year can be reduced to 6 months if the PRB deems fit so. So that is just a follow on review, and then they will issue a qualified, then they will issue a peer review certificate if they find everything satisfactorily. Else, if not, then they might take action. But first situation is what they will be in case of modification, they will be doing follow on review. But here, in case of quality review, they I told you the aim is what? Aim is to identify weaknesses which the weaknesses which might lead to what? Financial statement. Financial statement should have been modified, but suppose auditor has issued unmodified audit report. Suppose financial statement should have been should have been modified, but the auditor has issued unmodified audit report. That means what? Auditor has not done his procedures appropriately, and in case the auditor has not followed with the quality control standards, not complied with the laws or regulations, then there the action will be taken against the auditor. Action will be taken against the auditor. So what happens generally? Quality review board will report to the Council of ICI, and then Council of ICI will report this matter to the disciplinary directorate or disciplinary committee. That this matter will be reported to the disciplinary committee, and disciplinary committee will take action against the auditor then. So that is why the scope of quality review could be said as certain of grievance nature. That means where you have already identified certain type of fraud in the entity, then you will choose that entity and you will select who has done the audit of this entity, and then you will go and review the review the audit firm under review. So here what we say is what? Here what the and what we say is a FUR, audit firm under review. We were doing practicing units peer review. In peer review chapter we were doing review of whom? Practicing unit. Here we will be doing review of a full, that is more or less same, but just the terminology is changed. That is what? Audit firm under review, the firm which is under review. Similarly here, in the peer review, who was doing the review? Who was doing the peer review?
Other chartered accountants.
Yeah, that is called as peer reviewer. Similarly here in quality review, technical reviewer will be doing the quality review. So who is technical reviewer? That we'll also see is more or less same on the chartered accountant, qualified chartered accountant. Here peer review, how much qualified assistant he could take with him? Qualified assistant. How many qualified assistants?
One.
One, right? Here technical reviewer can take a team of qualified assistants, can take a team of qualified assistants with him for to do the quality review. As I told you, it is much in depth or grievance nature. Generally the selection of firms, how was it happening in the peer review? Selection of firms, the institute is trying to make all firms mandatory, right? In the peer review case, institute is trying to make all the firms mandatorily to comply with the peer review guidelines and get themselves peer reviewed. But that is not the case with quality review. Quality review, as I told you, will be done when there is a sort of non-compliance being detected. So when we suppose detected certain type of non-compliance in any entity, we can just select that entity, or the quality review board can select that entity, and will see who the auditor is, and then they will select that auditor for the quality review purpose. The important point to be here noted is that NAFRA has come into the picture. Do you remember there was a fight between Institute ICI and NAFRA, where NAFRA took all the controls of the auditor? There was some debate. So what has happened now is that the auditors of big companies like listed companies, public, unlisted public company having turnover more than equal to 1000 crore, paid up share capital more than equal to 500 crore, or loans or borrowings more than equal to 500 crore. Similarly, banking companies, insurance companies, all banking regulated entities, and other certain entities which are covered under Rule 3 of NAFRA rules. Rule 3 of NAFRA rules, that we have to mug up these companies. All the companies which is covered in this rule 3 of NAFRA cannot be cannot be reviewed by the quality review board, cannot be reviewed by the quality review board, because the power is with whom? Power is with NAFRA. Therefore quality review board can pick up these companies which is mentioned in the rule 3 of NAFRA rules only when it is recommended or referred by the NAFRA. So when NAFRA will refer it to the quality review board that okay, pick up these companies auditors for the quality review, then only quality review board can pick up these companies auditor for quality review. Are you getting this? Are you getting this or not? So that is what it says, that the companies which is covered in rule 3, quality review board has suo moto, they cannot just pick up these companies for quality review. Instead they can pick up these auditors only and only when the companies or the NAFRA refer these companies to quality review board. So you need to be aware that quality review board can suo moto pick up only those companies which is not covered under NAFRA rules, which is not covered under rule 3 of NAFRA. Are we clear with this point as well? So quality review board will pick up this company, can also pick up directly the audit firms. So there are two types of two ways by which quality review can be imposed on the firm. Afur can be imposed on the Afur, that is Afur which firm will be picked up for the quality review. So one method I told you was, we will see the entity with whom they have done the audit, and the entity of whom they have done the audit, if at all we find certain mistakes or certain fishy items, then what you can do is pick up those auditors. Similarly, you can directly pick up the Afurs based on the number of partners, number of location, the scale of the firm under review. You can directly pick up the firm as well. Clear? But in the peer review, institute is trying to get each and every firm get themselves peer reviewed, each and every firm to get themselves peer reviewed, and there is also an option of voluntary peer review. Correct? Voluntarily you can also opt for peer review, but in the quality review that is not the case. The case is when it is picked up either by the NAFRA or it is picked up by the quality review board on the case to case basis when they find certain items very much fishy. Clear with this, the basic background of peer review and the quality review? There is some differences because of which quality review will see a bit certain different sort of view. So let's just see. I told you the the difference in the main aim. The aim of the peer review was not to identify isolated weaknesses, but to improve upon the systems and procedures. Right? The aim is what? Aim is to quality control system review to be done. System of quality control system review to be done. Aim in here as well will be to review the quality system controls, quality control system. Here we were also complying with the PET standards. Similarly, here also we will be complying with, or we will be seeing whether the technical standards are being complied with or not. So here we were referring to PET standard, here we will refer to technical standard. More or less they are both the same, just the way they have mentioned here is different, but the content in there, the PET and the technical standard, more or less the standards are same. And here what we were also seeing was the documentation part, whether they have been complied with and everything they have done it. Here we are more or less relates to the concern that whether the procedures that are performed are adequate enough or not, whether whether qualification should have been done in the case of audit report which is being unmodified, issued unmodified by the auditor, should it have been qualified audit report or not. So that is our major concern here. We will be doing quality control system. Obviously we'll check the internal controls in the audit firm, whether everything is being followed or not. Similarly, all the compliance of technical standards we'll also see, and similarly we'll see that whether there should have been any qualified audit modified audit report to be issued. So let's see scope and objective of quality review. Scope and objectives of quality review. So quality review is designed to identify weakness and deficiency about how audits are performed. Not unlike peer review. Peer review are not designed to identify weaknesses, right? They are designed for the improvement of the systems in the firm, improvement of the systems in the practicing unit. Here we are improving upon the systems. However, we are designed, the procedures are so designed that we need to identify those weaknesses which the auditor failed to detect or auditor ignored it, and that's why we will then complain it to the disciplinary committee of the ICI. I told you what the process here is. Once again, quickly briefing about the process. Here what will happen is technical reviewer will be guided by the qualified assistants. The team of qualified assistants will be held by the team of qualified assistants, and technical reviewer will report this to the quality review group, QRG, quality review group. The quality review group based on the reports, examining the reports submitted by the technical reviewer, he will see what recommendation he should make to the quality review board for the purpose of action to be taken. And the basis recommendation made by the quality review group, quality review board will forward it to the quality review group board will forward it. If at all they want to initiate an action, quality review board will forward it to the ICI council for the purpose of taking action against the AFUR, for the purpose of taking action against the AFUR. And our ICI council will then forward it to whom? Disciplinary committee. Disciplinary committee will forward it to disciplinary committee. However, there is a proposal which is being proposed to remove this intermediary IC council. That means quality review board can directly submit the report to disciplinary committee in order to take action against the AFUR. However, this action, the recommendation here will could be of three types. Recommendation could be of three types. Either to take action against the firm. Then when will this happen? When the report should have been modified report, but the auditor has issued what? Unqualified. That is clean report. Auditor has issued clean report, but the report should have been modified. Then in this case, recommendation to be done by the quality review board, by the quality review group to the quality review board will be action that needs to be taken. However, there are like simple non-compliances with standard on auditing. In one or two odd places, auditor has not documented the things properly, or there has been some non-compliances or departure from few of the material standards on auditing. Then they will simply guide the AFUR, simply directly guide the AFUR. No such action to be taken. And there could be certain redundant natures, such as like not very much relevant nature of mistakes to be done by the AFUR, and in that case they can simply ignore those mistakes by once referring the mistake to the AFUR and telling them that these are all mistakes you did, but okay, next time onwards please do not do all these mistakes. They can simply ignore this points. So three types of recommendation can be done by the QRG to the QRB, and then the QRB will make recommendation to the disciplinary committee through ICI council, and that is how the process will follow. So now what we were seeing is scope and objective of quality review. Scope and objective of quality review first was to identify weakness and deficiency about how audits are performed. Then while reviewing, reviewer may identify ways in which audit is deficient. So reviewer has to see how the audit has not been done properly, including failures by the firm to identify or to address appropriately aspects in which entities FS do not present fairly financial position. That means financial statement position what the entity prospects or what the entity shows is not true and fair, is not correct. Accordingly, review should not understood to be providing full assurance. Why? Because this is just a matter of one or two audits that will be picked up out of all the entire audits of the CA firm. These are just the one or two. Just remember that in case of quality review, we can pick up maximum three assignments. Maximum three assignments we can pick up. However, in peer review, whether there were any such limitation, no. We can pick up based on our professional judgment, based on our prudence, how many number of assignments we can pick up in the case of peer review. So peer review, one more difference you can try here is that peer review is done on, like what I can say is, firm wide. It is a firm wide review. That means entire firm is reviewed. But in the case of quality review, generally what happens is an assignment is reviewed. That means an audit of P Limited or audit of ABC Limited was done. Then we will be reviewing that assignment, that audit that was performed by the auditor. Then we'll see that assignment basis the which the auditor has performed. We'll just review that assignment, and also we can pick up two more assignments, maximum three assignments. Yeah, so what I was telling is that peer review is generally like doing firm wide design, like evaluating all the quality control system policies, procedure, whether they have complied with documentation, standards, and auditing, everything firm wide. However, quality review is like more, the focus is more on that particular assignment which has been picked up for the quality review. Why? Because why the firm was picked up for the quality review, that particular assignment will be thoroughly checked, plus two more assignments you can see, plus two more assignment, maximum three. So that is what we are seeing, maximum three assignments we are seeing. That should not be understood to provide full assurance that the firm's audit are being done completely and appropriately. That cannot be assumed to be a full assurance on the firm's auditing procedures policies, right? Because this is just done on a sampling, not on sampling, but just only two or three odd assignments you will pick up out of the total audits that has been done by the AFUR. One more difference I can tell you is that you will tell me peer review, which assignments can we pick up in the case of peer review? Which services rendered by the chartered accountants can be picked up in the case of peer review?
Assurance only.
Assurance.
Assurance services.
Only assurance services, right? Assurance services, be it audit or other assurance services. In the case of quality review, in the case of quality review, we can pick up only and only statutory audit. Statutory audit, let alone tax audit, internal audit, those cannot be picked up for the quality review. We'll pick up only what audits? Statutory company audits, statutory audits only. Here, all the assurance services rendered in the peer review were picked up, but in the quality review, statutory audits will only be picked up. Clear? Not even tax audit, not even internal audits. So that does not mean that the firm's audits are being performed or are free from any sort of deficiencies. Clear? So let's see the scope and objective. If at all they ask for 4 marks, then you'll have to specify these 3 points. The scope and objective of quality review, first is to comply with the professional, ethical, and technical standards, PET, compliance of PET. Second is to see whether all the relevant laws or regulation as per standard on auditing has been complied with or not by the auditor. Thirdly, it would be that AFUR has implemented or not the quality control standards to be implemented. Auditing control quality control standards have been implemented by the AFUR or not. And lastly, there should not be any material misstatement as on the reporting date in the selected entity. That means we are also checking whether the financial statement of the entity, whether there is any material misstatement. That was not done in the peer review. Here, quality review, you are also to be dealt with what financial statements of the audit, financial statement of the entity client, whether there is any material misstatement or not. You have to verify that there is no material misstatement left in the client's financial statement. Clear? So we can just simply wrap these 4 points as PT, LR, QCS, MMS. PT, LR, QCS, MMS. If you can just repeat PT, LR, QCS, MMS. PT, LR, QCS, MMS. PT, Professional Ethical Technical Standards Compliance. LR, Law and Regulation, compliance with standards on auditing. QCS, Quality Control Standards to be verified whether they have been followed, adhered to do properly or not. And then lastly, MMS, there should not be no material misstatement. There should be no material misstatement in the financial statements of the client of the AFUR. Now, technical standard, it's more or less same only. I told you same as in peer review. What was there was PT. So PT equals to technical standards. Here you can see accounting standard. What was there in PT? Accounting standard, right? Accounting standard prescribed under section 133 for companies, read with companies accounting standard rules 2014. Similarly, Indian accounting standard issued under section 133 of the Companies Act, read with companies India's rules 2015. Then, apart from accounting standard, all the guidelines issued by the institute, statements, guidelines, guidance notes, standards on auditing, standards on internal audits, right? Then thirdly, framework to be prepared for the purpose of preparation of financial statement. And lastly, laws and regulation that is to be complied with. Those are covered in the professional, ethical and technical standards here, same as technical standards, peer review standards, or professional, ethical and technical standards. Then you can see here, presently review undertaken by QRB covers statutory audit services only. Important. Does not extend to internal audit services. Further, this review also does not extend to services provided by the members of the institute in employment. Always, definitely, right? Even in the case of peer review, also we do not pick up those services which is being provided by you as an employee. We are just picking up as a service assurance services that you are providing. Here we are only just picking up auditing services, statutory audit, not even tax audit, not even internal audit. Statutory audit services. Quality review board, constitution and composition. So we have already saw what constitution is done by central government. Here the board will comprise of chairperson and 10 other members. So unlike there were in the peer review it was mentioned what, up to 12 members. It can be up to 12 members, minimum 6, maximum 12, up to 12. Here every time it will be 11 members, one chairperson and 10 other members. Out of these 10 members, 5 will be nominated by ICI, 5 nominated by ICI, and 5 is nominated by central government. And this chairperson is also nominated by central government, overall making it a dominance of central government. Getting this, out of 6, out of 11, 6 members are from central government. CG nominates what? Chairperson and 5 members as well. And other 5 are nominated by the ICI Central Council. If you want, we can also see quality review board की website. Just wait. See, this is the website of QRBCA quality review board, charteredaccountants.in. So here, if we want to see who all are the members of the QRB right now, then we can probably about us. Let's see about us and about the board. So board, you can see here, is under section 28A of the CA Act. Consequent to CA, the central government is empowered to constitute a QRB consisting of a chairperson and 10 other members, right? So how do we see the constitution of the board? Constitution of the board. So functions of the board they have mentioned there. This has also asked in May 22 exam. Functions of the board, powers of the board. This is also given in our syllabus. Functions of the board, composition of the board. So composition of the board, you can see here, is currently comprises of Shefali Sheh, IRS, retired IRS, is the chairperson, and then Kumar, other 5 members nominated by central government. Supreme Court of India advocate, one is from MCA, the other is SEBI manager, chief general manager of SEBI, then C&AG, office of C&AG, Deepak Kapoor, and then other nominees of ICI Council, Durgesh Kumar Kabra, Danyas Sharma Goyal, Pramod Boob, and Pramod Jain. So 11 members are there right now. Okay, 11 member has to be there all the time. So what is it saying? Functions of the QRB. Right now we were seeing what functions of the QRB. Can you see? Now we'll see what the functions are. So function is QR is directed towards what? Inspection and evaluation of audit quality. That means quality purpose, for the quality purpose that the auditing quality is being adhered to or not. Quality, how it is should have been provided, the services rendered by the chartered accountants firm, and adherence to the statutory and regulatory requirements. So here we are going to assess what all the quality of compliance with the accounting standards, disclosure requirements, quality of auditing and reporting by the AFUR, quality control framework which has been adopted. What framework is being adopted? And then 28B of the chartered account provides specifically that these functions have to be done. Which functions? Either we can recommend to the council with respect to quality of services by the members, or we can review the quality of services provided by the members and guide members of the ICI to improve upon the same. That means what? Suppose I told you, right? Do you remember? If there was to be issued a modified audit opinion, but the auditor has issued unqualified opinion. Auditor has issued unqualified report, but they should have issued modified opinion. Then in that case, we will make recommendation to the quality. Will make recommendation to the council for the quality of services rendered by the institute, and then the council will forward this to the disciplinary committee in order to take action against the auditor. Similarly, when we find that the non-compliance is not such grievant, the non-compliance is of not such grievance nature, then we found that these are just non-compliance with few standards on auditing, or there are certain material departures with the documentation or certain few procedures. Then we can directly guide the members of ICI. They can directly guide the AFUR. We can directly guide the AFUR to improve upon the quality of service and adherence to the statutory audit. Clear? So these are the functions. Important point here is quality review board will review audit of companies under NAFRA applicability only and only if referred by NAFRA. So rule 9 sub rule 4 read with section 132 subsection 2 of the Companies Act. So rule 9 sub rule 4 of NAFRA rules 2018 clearly mention this. Rule 9 sub rule 4 of NAFRA rules 2018 clearly mention this, that in case the firm whichever companies are covered under rule 3 of these rules, the companies covered under rule 3 of these rules cannot be picked up for quality review by the quality review board except in the cases when it is referred by NAFRA. Now come to powers of quality review board. What powers have been granted to the quality review board? So obviously they can call for any information if they want to know or assess any further information. They can call from the institute or the council or the chartered accountant, that is firms. Clients of the members also, they can ask for the information. So they have the power to call for information from anyone, be it client, be it AFUR, be it institute, be it council members or council or other person or organization may also be given hearing to them. Then you can invite expert to provide their advice or their opinion. When you are confused, you can also always you can always have an expert opinion, right? Then lay down the criteria to evaluate services provided by the members and to select these members. So how will you evaluate the services which is provided by the AFUR, and how is this AFUR being selected? And lastly, on its own or through special arrangement, evaluate the quality of services which is been rendered by this AFUR, and also to make recommendation to the council, and that further council will forward it to disciplinary committee to guide members to improve their professional competency and qualification. Important quality review excludes internal audit, tax audit, GST audit, or any sort of audit other than statutory audit. So how can we remember this? Try to recall that phase where we protested against institute for paper checking. Do you remember that point where they have protested for paper checking, and their institute agreed to form an expert opinion? To get an expert opinion, they formed a panel in which Girish Ahuja sir was the head. Do you know Girish Ahuja? Who is sir Girish Ahuja? Leading tax practitioner, also give many of the suggestions for in the parliament when they are coming out with the budget. So Girish Ahuja sir was appointed as an expert opinion in this matter. So what they are saying is, of course, we can call any information from the institute. We can always call to the institute and ask them why this paper checking was not done properly. Then will they have invited or they have formed an expert opinion panel from which they can get an opinion, and then they will lay down the criteria to evaluate the paper or evaluate the examination, evaluate the paper, why, how, or how the checking should have been done. And then on its own special arrangement with the institute, they will evaluate the quality of the paper checking, and lastly will make the recommendation. This expert will then make the final recommendation to the ICI council what should be done, whether the CA act needs to be amended or not. Kind of that story you can link to, and all the points will follow, right? You can call the institute for the paper checking. They are not checking it properly, so you call the institute, and then institute did what? Framed an expert panel to have an expert opinion, right? So expert recommended how the criteria should be, to check or evaluate the quality of services. Similarly, you on its own or through special arrangement with the institute evaluate that quality, how evaluate that paper checking, and lastly you will make the recommendation to the council, final recommendation to the council, or to guide the members to improve upon their professional competency and improve upon the professional qualification. Clear? Powers of quality review board. This was asked in May 22 exam. So quickly, just once go through till here. We are done with first page. Quickly go through the first page. Then we'll start with the selection of audit firms. How are they selected? So this chapter is, I believe, very much MCQ prone. Many MCQs can be framed from this chapter. So even if they are not asking for 4 to 5 marks, of course, definitely they can ask in MCQ. So I have to go through each and every point minutely. You are confusing. This technical standard includes, and that I have finished this. The topic is over. Technical standards topic is over, which is same as peer review. Technical standards over, finished. Whatever there was mentioned in the PETs, same which was mentioned na in PET. So you can refer it at TR equals technical standards equals to here PET. That's it. And this is separate line, separate different topic. Now let's come to here, selection of audit firm. So I told you in the introductory part as well that how are we gonna select these AFURs? How are we gonna select AFURs? I told you one way is to identify those companies where we are suspecting something fishy, or identifying those companies where already a fraud has been detected, fraud has come into limelight, or any sort of companies where is something suspicious or something fishy. Then we'll simply get those auditors of these companies to get quality reviewed, to get themselves quality reviewed. So we'll just pick up the auditors of these companies for quality review. The other way could be criteria based on audit firm. That means based on randomly or based on scrutiny basis, you can randomly pick up those firms which are based on their scale of business or scale of operation or scale of service providing, and based on number of partners, number of location, or any sort of criteria that you define for the firms to get picked for the quality review. And lastly, based on the quality review cycle as well, that we will see. So let's quickly first see what criteria which is based on entities that have been audited. Criteria based on entities here means what? Clients of AFUR, right? So entity other than those specified under rule 3 subrule 1 of NAFRA rules, entities other than may be selected. So here who is selecting the entities? Quality review board. So can they select entities which are referred in rule 3 subrule 1 of NAFRA? No. I told you they can't even touch the entities. So other than the entities referred in Rule 3, Sub-Rule 1 of the NAFRA rules, other entities can be selected based on risk-based selection. Risk-based selection, do you remember? Do you know how income tax cases are being selected? Based on scrutiny, right? For scrutiny cases, how are they selected? Based on risk-based. There is certain system followed by the income tax department automated in which automatically they select few cases risk-based selection. So that is how even the quality review board can select these entities based on risk-based criteria on account of being part of a sector otherwise identified as being susceptible to risk. That means based on sector wise selection. Right now, suppose they may identify that right now health sector is not much performing, or there are certain or few other cases of fraud which has been found out in healthcare industries or healthcare sector companies. Then they can simply see that sector as particularly vulnerable, where a lot of misappropriation of assets or a lot of mismanagement or material misstatements have been followed in last few years, and therefore they can simply focus on that particular sector and select those entities based on the sector analysis. So sector otherwise identified as being susceptible to risk on the basis of market intelligence report. Then you can also select entities based on the fraud they have reported. So if at all you come across that this entity has reported a fraud, so we'll just simply see whether how was this fraud, whether this fraud could have been easily detected, could have been easily detected by the auditor, and if yes, then we'll select that auditor for the purpose of quality review. And the serious accounting irregularities in financial statement highlighted by the media and other reports. Major other non-compliances for laws and regulation, there could be a non-compliances. So we'll see. They are saying that in case of joint audit, all joint auditors shall be reviewed or may be reviewed. Now, what can also happen is when the QRB is being recommended by the RBI, SEBI, IRDA, MCA, NAFRA, then they can review these firms. Then yes, they can review these AFURs. So in the case the firms are being recommended by whom? By recommended by RBI or any sort of regulator, then of course these AFURs can be reviewed. Audit firm under review. These firms can be reviewed under quality review. Similarly, what can happen is that you can also receive complaint from other individuals, other body corporates, other companies, director of these companies. That suppose example the company director out of his ego or certain or the other reason might tell what that our auditor is not doing our audit properly. So please board, quality review board, please do the quality review of our auditor. Please do the quality review of our auditor. So these all these applications from individual, from firms, companies, other entities, partners, directors, other officer shall be dealt by CA Act 1949. That means they will not be entertained by the quality review board. They will not be entertained by the quality review board. Cases of complaints from only and only regulatory bodies. These regulatory bodies, only these regulatory bodies, other media reports involving serious accounting irregularity shall be considered by the quality review board for the purpose of initiating the review. So whatever the regulators have asked, the ask of regulator that will be considered, but the ask of individual director, partner, firm, companies will be dealt with according to Chartered Accountants Act 1949, won't be entertained much. Suo motu quality review may be done using random sampling selection of particular class or class of entities audit firms. That means what? By suo motu, we can just simply tell that firm to be selected for the quality review. Not based on certain risk-based criteria, not based on a fraud that has been detected, but simply based on suo motu. Suo motu quality review may be done using random sampling selection of particular class or class of entities auditing firms. Now, criteria based on audit firms I already told you based on the number and nature of the clients, number of sectors that we rendered services that may be identified as facing high risk or on account of fraud that has been detected. So based on that also we can simply identify few of the firms for which quality review is required. And lastly, important quality review cycle. This can be asked. Quality review cycle of audit firm may be followed generally or as decided by the board. So for a firm having 20 or more partners, a chartered accountancy firm having 20 or more than equal to 20, every 3 years audit firm should be quality reviewed, should be reviewed under quality review board in every 3 years. Should be. Then once in 4 years for audit firm having 10 or more than equal to 10, but less than 20, more than equal to 10, but less than 20 members, no 20 partners in the firm. Then once in 4 years, and lastly less than 10 partners, then once in 5 years. So once selected for quality review, you will see that whether the partner is how many partners are there in the firm. If 20 or more, then once in every 3 years. If less than 20 but more than equal to 10, then how many in how many years? 4 years, right? And if less than 10 members, then if less than 10 members, then
5 years.
once in every 3 years, na 5 years, once in every 5 years. Now I told you maximum up to 3 audit engagements may be selected, right? Up to 3 audit engagements may be selected. However, there is one exception. There is one exception, that is in the case where we selected 3 audit engagements or 3 audit assignments in the earlier quality review, and in that time, at that time of quality review, we found certain misstatements or we found certain findings, adverse findings. Therefore, in this time of review, we need to be extra cautious. We need to follow much more detailed procedures, much more detailed review procedures, and therefore in that case ICI is allowed to select more than 3 engagements only in cases where earlier there was an adverse finding in the quality review process. Earlier there was an adverse finding. So you can see here, past review, if there is no adverse finding, then maximum three assignments, and in here 3 assignments as well. All the 3 assignment should have different partner. That means what? Select only one audit per partner. Suppose I have eight partners, right? 8 partners in my firm. If I want to select three assignments, 3 audit engagements, then suppose he has done 5, he has done 8 assignments, he has done 10, he has done 12 assignments, or he has done 18 audits, then I can select one out of any of the 3 partners. I can select 3, but definitely not 2 audits from same partner. I have to select one from here, one from here, and one from other partner. That means maximum one audit per partner you can select. But if you find certain adverse finding, then you can obviously select more than 3 engagement exception. This is an exception to maximum 3 audit engagements. That is maximum how many audits? 3 audit engagements can be selected. However, if in the earlier period there was an adverse finding, then you can select more than 3 audit engagements. And remember, one audit per partner. Per partner you can select for one audit assignments, one audit engagement. Simply go through this. Then we'll start with quality review process.
Sir, in the first case, that is criteria based on entities audited. Entities means the clients of the firm. Now we will be मतलब हम उस बेसिस पे रिव्यू करेंगे ना कि क्लाइंट्स के नेचर क्या है ना जो पॉइंट्स दिए हुए हैं.
क्लाइंट में कोई फ्रॉड मिला है क्या? सपोज एग्जांपल, इन Ghankun Steel Private Limited is a big company in Raipur. Then suppose there is a fraud which has been detected, or suppose there is certain non-compliance of law regulation which has come into the limelight by the auditor. Some certain other non-compliance been shown in newspaper or reported by the journalist, or you come across certain sector specific information that the steel industries are not gonna perform well. There are so many misstatements being detected, particularly in last 3 years from these steel industries. So you are sector specific now. So out of these sector you can select any big company, large corporate, and that corporate should not be covered by the NAFRA. This company should not be coming under the purview of NAFRA.
Sir, these entities are Afur itself or the clients of the
No,
Afur
no, clients,
because
na clients. I told you what, Steel Private Limited company. It's a company we are selecting, that this company is suspicious to certain fishy items, or there has been certain suspicious things which has been carried out by the entity, and then the auditor who has done the audit of this company, we will then see who has done the audit of this company, and will then review that auditor.
Okay. And then in the second case, it is AFUR itself, na?
Yeah,
Audit firms.
second case we are directly targeting the AFURs. That means all out of all these firms, these are top 10, top 20 firms. They should be quality reviewed. So based on the number of location, operations, their scale of business, basically. Based
Okay,
on
sir.
that, we can select directly the firms for quality review. Yes, anything else? Everyone is clear. Maximum 3 audit assignments can be selected. Per partner, 1 audit assignment only you can select. Exception, if you want to select more than 3 audit assignment, then the exception could be when last quality review time there was an adverse finding which was being detected. Correct? Then quality review cycle wise, if you want to see, then more than equal to 20 partners, then it's once in every 3 years. Less than 20, more than equal to 10, once in every 4 years. Less than 10 members, once in every 5 years. Now let's come to quality review process. The quality review process. So board may constitute one or more quality review groups. I told you what? Technical reviewer with the help of qualified assistants will submit report to whom? Quality review group. And this quality review group will submit the report to QRB. QRB then, if finds suitable, will submit it to ICA Council, and then ICA Council will submit it to disciplinary committee for taking action, right? So it is being submitted first of all to whom? It's first submitted to quality review group. This QRG can be entity specific or can be industry specific. Sorry, can be industry specific or can be general quality review groups. So there could be a lot of QRGs. Example, one QRG is very much specialized in steel industries. Another quality review groups is very much specialized in healthcare industry. So it could be sector specific, sector expertise, or it could also be a general QRG, generalized knowledge, generalized QRG. So that is what they are saying. Can board can constitute one or more quality review groups for the purpose of assisting it to the QRB. Quality review board also want assistance. So who will assist quality review board? QRG. QRG will assist QRB to examine final reports of the technical reviewer. Technical reviewer will not submit directly to QRB. Technical reviewer will submit to QRG. QRG will examine and then submit it to the QRB to assess the quality of audit, to assess the reporting by the AFUR. Clear first point. Then there could be two categories of quality review groups. I told you one could be industry specific and other could be generic. So one in one sort of QRB, in one set of QRB, there could be one set of QRGG, QR group, quality review group, could be an industry specific. Suppose iron and steel industry, all the experts or all the chief the executive officers or directors from different entities which have performed their duty can be selected in this QRG. Similarly, in generic QRG could be selected chief economist, chief law and regulation from other different entities could be selected for a generic quality review group. And then each of these QRG would be assisted by whom? Technical reviewers. Each of the QRGs will be assisted by the technical reviewer, and this QRG will assist whom? QRB. QRG will assist QRB. And job of technical reviewers is to prepare report on review of statutory audit functions. We as a technical reviewer will report on what? Statutory audit which was performed. Now I told you what? Quality reviewer. Quality reviewer is also a chartered accountant only, right? Like peer reviewer, quality reviewer is also a chartered accountant. So how can you opt for doing quality review of certain other firms? That means you have to be empaneled in a panel maintained by QRB, right? For you to be a quality reviewer, you have to get yourself empaneled. So board has specified some basic minimum criteria for the purpose of empanelment of technical reviewer with the board. Applications are invited through online empanelment process. At the website of QRB, you can see that. Then what does it say? That reviewer should have minimum 15 years of post qualification experience as a chartered accountant. How many years of experience? 15. And is also currently active in practice. See here, can you see announcement for associating industry specific expert accommodations with the quality review board. So if you want, you feel that you are an academic expert or accommodations, then you can get yourself empaneled with the QRG, quality review board. Similarly, announcement of for empanelment as a technical reviewer with the quality review board. If you want to get yourself empaneled as a technical reviewer with the quality review board, then you will have to submit this form. See this announcement, application form, and let's see view. So can you see this form? You will have to apply in this form. Then you have to clearly here say how many work experience do you have. Do you possess minimum 20 years experience with at least 5 years at a senior management position in an industry having turnover of 100 crores and above, as an academician possessing knowledge of industry? If yes, provide details below. Then in case of accommodations, do you have to your credit research work, papers or articles, books, monographs? Have you done any sort of credit research? Area of specialization also mentioned that experience, knowledge in which sector you are having the experience, total number of experience. All these details you will have to fill and submit it accordingly. So let's see. For you to be empaneled as a technical reviewer, you need to have how many years? 15 years of post qualification experience as a chartered accountant and be currently active in practice. Have signed at least 3 statutory audit assignments as a central statutory auditor of banks. So yesterday we saw what? Branch audit of public sector banks. Do you remember where we saw branch audit of public sector banks? Branch
Phase 4.
phase 4. So if you want to do any sort of statutory branch audit of banks, like sort of in the audits that we come across in month of April, right? For 1 or 2 days we visit the branch and do the entire audit. That sort of audit if you want to perform, then you need to have a peer review certificate from 1st April 2025, right? Phase 4 onwards. But here what we are seeing is central statutory audit. This is the audit of the head office of the, suppose example, SBI. So this is the one and only one audit of the entire SBI, in which all the branch audits report will be compiled. All the LFARs will be compiled in one single LFAR of the complete complete audit of SBI or any sort of bank. So central statutory audit of banks or public limited company or government company or private limited company having annual turnover of 50 crores and above during last 10 financial year. Do you remember this limit? Some sort of same limit we have come across in professional ethics. Public limited company, government company, private limited company having annual turnover of 50 crores and above. Yes, where? Public limited company, government company, private limited company having annual turnover of 50 crores and above. And one more company was there, listed company. Listed company, public limited company, government company, and private limited company. Sorry, it was unlisted public company having annual turnover of more than equal to 50 crore. So that we saw where in the case of fee for other services, fees could not exceed statutory audit fees. Do you remember? Non-assurance fees cannot exceed statutory audit fees for these companies. For listed company, listed company, public sector undertaking, government company, and other public company having turnover more than equal to 50 crores. Similarly, here to for you to become empaneled in the technical reviewer, for you to become empaneled as a technical reviewer, you need to at least have done 3 statutory audit assignments of either of these entities, including a private limited company having turnover of 50 crores and above during last and financial year. However, one point, very important MCQ comes from this: out of the above 3 statutory audit assignments, at least one must be in respect of entities other than private limited company. So it should not be that all the 3 assignments that you are filling, whether you have fulfilled all the 3 statutory audit assignments as one of these companies, so you are fully fulfilling what? The condition of private limited company only. Then you will not be elected as a, or you will not be appointed as a technical reviewer. For you to get yourself empaneled as a technical reviewer, one company needs to be either central statutory audit of bank or public limited company, right, or a government company. one of your client needs to be at least this in the last 10 financial years. In the last 10 financial year, you need to have done at least 3 audits of banks, public limited company, government company, or private company having annual turnover of during annual turnover of 50 crores or more. Yes or no? Then during last financial year, you should not have been proceeded with any sort of disciplinary proceedings. And you cannot be a member of quality review board. If you are a member of quality review board, how can you be appointed as a technical reviewer? You need to be empaneled as a technical reviewer, right? So you cannot be a member of QRB, or you cannot be a member of ICA council, regional council, branch committee. No, not allowed. Independence breach. Now you will be empaneled for an ongoing block period of 3 years, subject to obtaining annual declaration from each technical reviewer for continuing to meet the all these above criteria. That means annual declaration will be taken from you that you are still meeting the above 3 criteria, above 5 criteria, or 4 criteria. However, it may be noted that empanelment as a technical reviewer with the quality review board does not guarantee allotment. Definitely, in all the cases, if you are being empaneled as a technical reviewer, or if you are being empaneled as a peer reviewer or a branch auditor or a auditor, bank auditor, then it doesn't mean that assignment will be coming to you. It's not 100% assurance that assignments will be given to you. Yeah. So what I was telling was, empanelment can be done for a block period of 3 years, subject to annual declaration that you have to submit that you are still fulfilling all the criteria by which you got yourself empaneled. And then technical reviewer shall submit annually 6 declarations along with the evidences that yes, they are being participating on all sort of training, in all sort of workshops that needs to be participated by the technical reviewers, so that they will be aware about all sort of procedures that need to perform in their review.
So what is the 3 years blocks? Can you repeat once?
So you will be empaneled for a period of 3 years. After that, again you will have to apply to the quality review board for getting yourself empaneled as a technical reviewer. So for a block of 3 years, you will be empaneled. And then it is to be noted here is that for suppose you are being empaneled, it doesn't mean that you will get the review. Doesn't mean that you will get to review certain other entity, certain AFUR. That means what, it is not an assurance of work that will be provided to you. It can come or it might not. And lastly, 6 annual declaration has to be done by the technical reviewer that they are following all the training, they are following all the workshops, they are attending all these training workshops, manuals and everything, they are updated. ठीक है. So now stages that are involved in the conduct of quality review assignments. So सबसे पहला first stage is to appoint. That is, QRB will select the audit firm AFUR and the audit file for the purpose of the quality review, and will identify the technical reviewer to conduct the quality review. The first step is for you to identify audit firm and the audit file of whom the review has to be done, and then also appoint the technical reviewer who will do the quality review. Second is with respect to sending an offer engagement letter. This is very easy. The process will be very much easy, just will have to a bit aware about the sequence, right? So for that purpose, I have just mentioned a micro. You can just use this mnemonics, that is AEIQOPRFRS. 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 So A for appointment of the technical reviewer will be done. E for engagement letter, will be sending the engagement letter to the technical reviewer, and then the technical reviewer will be conveying the acceptance of this engagement letter, whether or not he accepts the conditions mentioned in the engagement letter, how the review will be done, the responsibility of the technical reviewer, the responsibilities of the AFUR, same everything will be then conveyed by the technical reviewer, conveying the acceptance of the engagement letter. And then the quality review board will intimate the afford that the quality review has been proposed of your firm, and we have also appointed one technical reviewer for the purpose of conducting your quality review. Okay, so quality reviewer will intimate the afford about the proposed QR, and QRB also sends a copy of this intimation letter to the technical reviewer and provides them contact details of each other for further communication. Right, so till now quality review, technical reviewer and the afford were not in contact. So QRB as an intermediary will now compile the both, that is technical reviewer and the QRB both will now meet. Now technical reviewer will send certain quality review questionnaire to the afford for them to fill up, so that technical reviewer is aware about the circumstances or situation, quality, policies, procedures, standards that are being implemented in the afford, right? He also can call any additional information that he requires from the afford. Then one offsite review by making planning for review, and then you can go again for on-site visit, on-site review. So you can carry out the quality review by starting with first what quality review, offsite quality review. Offsite means what? Through call, through phone, through Zoom, through or through any sort of review procedure, but not going on the visit of the office. Then he can again plan for on-site purpose, on-site review as well, on-site place, on-site visiting office of the afford by fixing date as per mutual consent, ensuring that review exercise gets completed within specified time frame. And thus lastly, on completion of the on-site review, will be sending what a preliminary report to the afford, asking for their comments that we have found these all mistakes or these found deficiencies in your quality control system, your policies, procedures, in your system of audit. Please reply. So quality review, technical reviewer will send a preliminary report to the afford, and then also a copy of the preliminary report will be submitted to the board, quality review board as well. Then afford will what do? Afford will reply to all these points, all the points of the preliminary report, will submit his representation on preliminary report to TR, and TR to immediately send again copy to QRB. Whatever reply received from the afford, he will send again back the replies to the QRB. Then TR will submit the final report along with the annual report copy, annual report of the entity, financial statements of the entity, annual report of the entity for the year under review, plus the final report will be submitted to the quality review board. And also we will tell the afford also that do submit your final comments on the final report to the quality review board. Do submit your final comments to the quality review board as well. He shall also send copy of final report to the afford, requesting the afford to send their final reply to the quality review board within 7 days. Remember, important 7 days. This can be asked in MCQ. So technical reviewer will submit the copy of the final report that he has submitted to the QRB. The same copy will be submitted to the afford, and then afford has 7 days to reply, to give his final comments, to give his final points to the quality review board. Are we clear? Very easy. So let's just see again. Okay, last 3 points, 4 points is mentioned remaining. Afford to submit to QRB all the replies of the final report and feedback. So upon receipt of final reply, afford, then upon receipt of the final reply from the afford, then the technical reviewer will submit to the quality review board within next 7 days a summary of his findings. So summary within again next 7 days, and then the quality review group to consider the report of the technical reviewer and will again give his recommendation to the QRB. I told you 3 types of recommendation, right? Action can be taken, or simply you can directly advise, give advisory to the afford, or thirdly you can ignore. So all these 3 recommendations can be given to the QRB. QRG may also call for the additional detail or information or explanation that they seek from the technical reviewer. And lastly, QRB to consider report and recommendation of the QRG and decide further course of action. So if we can see AEIQOPRFRS, AEIQOPRS for A, appointment, E for engagement letter, I for intimation to the afford. QRB will intimate the afford about the proposed quality review that has to be performed. And we have also appointed one technical reviewer for the purpose of performing a quality review in your firm. So that will be intimated. Then AEI, then next is QO. So Q for questionnaire, O for on-site offsite review. So we'll send a questionnaire. Then based on the replies that we have received the questionnaire, we will start with what? Offsite review, and followed on by the on-site review. Offsite review will start with it, and then that will be followed by a on-site review, followed by an on-site review. and then PRFRS. So P for preliminary report, R for representation on the preliminary report. So preliminary report will be submitted, so we'll get a representation from the AFUR. Similarly, FRS, final report, and then representation or reply, you can say, within 7 days. FRS, and lastly for S, you can see what? Summary of findings. AEIQO PRFRS. Last PR, P for preliminary report, R for representation received back from the AFUR. Similarly, F for final report and R for reply or representation received back from the AFUR to the quality review board. And from S we have what? Summary of the findings that he obtained in his quality review. Now you can see the composition of the quality review team. So composition of the quality review team, you can see what? It has to be mandatorily headed by a technical reviewer. And can he take qualified assistants with him? Yes, he can take up to 5 qualified assistants. Unlike in peer review where we could take only 1 qualified assistant with us, right? So in quality review, you can take up to 5 qualified assistants. However, no firm of chartered accountant may be included as a member of review team. Here again, the qualified assistant need to be amongst your member firm only, cannot be another chartered accountancy firm. You cannot take yourself with another CA firm or members of the other CA firms. So no firm of chartered accountant may be included as member of the review team. So let's just quickly see all the requirements of the independence or the qualification for the technical reviewer. So no disciplinary proceeding should be pending during last 3 financial year. Should not have been the statutory auditor of that company or rendered any other sort of services to the said company during last 3 financial years. That means what? If he or his firm or his network firm or even the partner of the firm or network firms, if any one of these is related in any sort of service that you have provided to this company, then you cannot become quality reviewer. You cannot become quality reviewer of this particular firm. He or his firm or network firm or partner of the firm that of network firm should not have had any association with the specified AFUR. So in point 2, they are mentioning that no relation with entity or client, no relationship with the company, and here no relationship with AFUR also. Are you getting this? This company is what? This company is the client of AFUR, na? So whatever client because of which quality review has been imposed on the AFUR, that company you should not be providing any sort of statutory audit service or any other service during last 3 financial years to that particular company. Everyone getting it or not? Both this point is very simple. One is no relationship with the company entity and the other one is no relationship with the AFUR. AFUR means the firm for which the quality review has to be conducted. And also he should not be disqualified under Companies Act. He should not be disqualified under Companies Act to become an auditor of the company. To become an auditor of that company, he should not have been disqualified under section 141 subsection 3. And he does not belong to the same city, same region of head office of the AFUR. That means what? If I am in Raipur, my quality reviewer will not be belonging to the same city, Raipur, or same region of head office of the AFUR. Please just revise this till now, whatever we have studied. Just go through it once. Try to recall, recollect, retain few of the stuffs which you find also is important from MCQ point of view or from answer writing point of view. Just read entirely till now whatever we have done. I am giving you 5 minutes. So you can see that it's very easy chapter once you get the background and theme of the chapter. It's not that a sort of rocket science, right? It's very easy. You just need to revise, try to recall the limits, try to recall the points, right? And then it will be a cakewalk. 4 to 5 mark question can come anytime. Chapter is easy but a bit hard to recall. Then there's so now let's come to independence of assistant. That is what our independence of qualified assistant. He should also be independent, right? Just like us, just like technical reviewer, our qualified assistant should also be independent. So again, then Lakshmi, qualified assistant should be what? Chartered accountant, and shall not attract any of the disqualification under chartered accountant under the section 8 or 21. Do you remember yesterday? Should not be disqualified under section 8 or 21 of the Chartered Accountants Act. He shall also sign confidentiality statement in the prescribed format, same like yesterday. Then shall have no direct interface with the AFUR or with the quality review board. All same points, 1, 2, 3. He should have been working with me for at least 1 year as a member or partner in a chartered accountants firm. So my firm, which is being appointed as a technical reviewer, me being empaneled as a technical reviewer, so then Lakshmi has to be with me working for at least 1 year as a either member or as a partner in my firm. Then shall not be associated with the AFUR and concerned entity during last 3 financial years. So you should not be associated with the AFUR during last 3 financial year, and you should also not be associated with the concerned entity because of which the AFUR has been appointed or picked up for the quality review. So both client as well as AFUR, you should not be associated during the last 3 financial year, same like what was the condition for the technical reviewer. And then shall not have any disciplinary proceeding under Chartered Accountants Act, should not be a member of QRB, Central Council, Regional Council, branch level management committee, and should not himself be empaneled as a technical reviewer with quality review board. So last condition is important. He should himself not being a technical reviewer. He should not himself or herself should not be a technical reviewer empaneled as a technical reviewer with quality review board. I am being empaneled as a technical reviewer. So if I am taking you with me as my qualified assistant, you should not be empaneled as a technical reviewer in the quality review board. So in peer review, one of the condition for you to become empaneled as a reviewer was you should not be a member of you should not be a member of you should not be a member of board of discipline, disciplinary committee, or council member, right? Yesterday we saw na for peer reviewer. For you to be get appointed in this peer review board, you should not be a member of what? Disciplinary committee, board of discipline of ICI. You should member of board of discipline, member of disciplinary committee of ICI shall not be a member of the peer review board. Okay, so I got confused. Sorry. Actually, I told you what peer reviewer shall not be a member of BOD or DC, right? But this is right. That was member of board of discipline and disciplinary committee of ICI shall not be a member of the peer review board. Peer review board. In the peer review board, 12 members have to be elected, right? So out of these 12 members, whoever is the board of discipline or discipline committee member, they will not be getting elected in the peer review board. So now let's come to guidelines for the technical review. So you have to maintain confidentiality, review all the documentation that has been maintained by the firm, either in any format, in electronic format, physical format. As per SA 230, you have to check whether they have maintained as per SA 230 all the documentation or not. Then provide detailed comments giving proper justification, explanation in respect of various matters required to be commented upon. Then TR shall specifically include suitable paragraph in review report on adequacy of fraud reporting. So you have to adequately report your fraud reporting if at all being done, and shall also follow the technical guide on quality review. So there is a guidance note, or you can say technical guide on quality review as well as peer review. So you should also follow that. This is the guidelines. And refer other guidance provided by the quality review board, such as audit quality review reports. These reports are being issued on this website only. Here you will see in the website you can see the reports issued by the quality review board. Where can we see the reports? Recommendations. Year-wise details of review conducted and recommendations made by the quality review board. So all these recommendations and audit reports you can see here. Total number of quality review assignments are 582. Quality review assignment of entities other than those falling under NAFRA rules 38, 44. So mostly you can see what, that mostly NAFRA is only recommending the audits, recommending the reviews, because other than NAFRA entities only 38 entities or 44 entities are there which are other than NAFRA. So you can see here the entire sort of, they have given that total number of final report accepted by the QRB out of total number, how many is accepted on record. This is not the recommendation, but what I was telling was one report is generated where they clearly tells that SA 230 is not complied by how many firms, SA 250 is not complied by how many firms. There is a non-compliance of which laws and regulation by majority of the firms. They quickly give this report. So you will be then having an idea that yes, we have to check this particular in detail. Inspection and review. So see, they have given you the procedure for quality review. How will you do the quality review procedure? Report on audit quality review. That is what I was saying. They will issue the audit quality report, audit quality review report. And here you can see that it's loading, but you will see that there are many of the sector specific details that have been given, standard specific details given, that how many is out of all the standards, which is the major standard which is not complied by most of the firms. So it's loading, we'll see later. So that is what you have to also refer to. All the technical guide, other guidance which is issued by the quality review board, and technical reviewer shall himself make an on-site visit to AFUR office and shall segregate his observations into material versus non-material. Which observation of mine are material and which observation of me are non-material. So we can just again, if at all they ask for 4 to 5 marks, the guidelines for you to technical review. That means a technical reviewer shall follow which guidelines. So we'll try to recall all the points by following this GFEDC. That means reverse, CDEFG. CDEFG. Instead of that, we are saying what? GFCDE. GFCDE. So see, C for confidentiality, D for documentation, E for all the explanation. You will have to go through all the justification explanation in respect of various matters required to be commented upon by the technical reviewers in their final report. And lastly, CDEF. F for fraud report. You have to particularly review the adequacy of fraud reporting, whether the fraud reporting was properly done by the auditor or not, accordance with 143 subsection 12, whether they've completely reported all the details, everything, nature, pan, everything has to be reported in the fraud reporting, where it will see in section 143 subsection 12 of Companies Act. And then G for guidance, G for guide, technical guide as well as other guidance. So C, D, E, F, G. C for confidentiality, E for explanation, sorry, C for confidentiality, D for documentation, E for explanation, in respect of various matters that needs to be seen by the technical reviewer. F for fraud reporting, whether it is adequately reported or not. G for guidance notes, technical review guidelines, right, and other such guidance. And then what? C, D, E, F, G, O, O. C, D, E, F, G, O, O. O for on-site visit and O for observation. Observation has to be segregated into material versus non-material. What all observations of mine are material and which observation of mine are non-material. And similarly, O for on-site visit, no off-site visit. So C, D, E, F, G, O, O. ठीक है. Then this stage-wise approach of quality review process. I am giving you this as an homework so that you will also read this and also will revise whatever we have learned till now. Okay? Whatever we have learned till now, you will also have to go through that along with this entire stage-wise detail. Of course, I'll go through this point. Come to point number 6. Quality review group will give certain recommendations, right? I told you 3 types of recommendation they can give. So they have detailed out these 3 types of recommendation here. Quality review group will give recommendation to the quality review board upon considerations of the observation by the technical reviewer. So first recommendation I already told you will be based on the actions that needs to be taken, right? And when will we recommend the action to be taken against the offer? When will we recommend to the quality review board that you need to take action against offer? When AFUR needed to issue what? Qualified or modified opinion. However, it issued what? Clean report. So the first point is what? Where the financial statement are not materially prepared as per financial reporting framework. Financial statement is not prepared in accordance with financial reporting framework, as would affect the truth and fairness of the FS, and auditor has not obtained all the reasonable assurance about whether the FS as a whole are free from material misstatement or not. Auditor has not obtained reasonable assurance, whether due to fraud or error. They have not obtained reasonable assurance that financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. Auditor does not express a qualified opinion. Auditor has not given a modified opinion. It has issued a clean sheet report. When having obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence, he has concluded that misstatements are material. But when we obtain audit evidences, that means technical reviewer got audit evidences, we have concluded what? That yes, there are misstatements individually or when aggregated with other misstatements, these misstatements are material. And in other cases of material non-compliances of technical standard, other relevant guidance, ethical standard, and other relevant law and regulation, the matter may be recommended to then the council of the ICI. So matter will be recommended to the council of the ICI, and then the council will recommend it to disciplinary committee. The council will then recommending it to disciplinary directorate for appropriate action. So now what has been proposed is to remove this in between council. Directly the matter will flow to whom? Directly the matter should flow to the disciplinary directorate. So this amendment might come in later half, but still now no such amendment. What is being done is what I told you is if the financial statement were not modified, financial statement as a whole are not free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and after obtaining all such audit evidences, you came to know about that they have issued a unqualified report, but that should not be the case. Then in that case, you can recommend the same that the action needs to be taken against the AFUR, and this recommendation will be made to the council of the ICI, and referring the same action can be done by the council to the disciplinary directorate. Similarly, in other cases of non-material non-compliances, these are not material non-compliances, but certain sort of, suppose you didn't follow few of the procedures of the standards. So example, documentation you did not did properly. So various requirements of the technical standard, other relevant LR do not affect, but they do not affect the truth and fairness of FS. Now that means what? These are non-compliances. However, these non-compliances are not affecting the opinion of the auditor. Auditor gave unqualified opinion because of these non-compliances that he did. Still, the opinion is unqualified only. Opinion is not going to change. According to us, opinion was correct. Opinion is correct. That is what is given by the auditor. Opinion should have been unqualified, and they have issued unqualified only. Opinion, according to us, is correct. However, there are certain non-compliances on the part of AFUR on technical standards. They have not followed with certain technical standards. Then we can simply do what? Give an advisory or guidance to the AFUR, may be issued by the quality review board in terms of the requirements of section 28B clause C of the CA Act. and rest other observation of trivial nature. Trivial nature means what? Redundant, faltu, redundant. So trivial nature observations where Afur has also agreed to, yes, Afur has agreed that okay, fine, I next time onwards I won't do this, don't worry, it's just a small mistake on my part, don't worry, it's a trivial nature mistake, we'll be correcting the steps in future and has already taken all the corrective steps. If Afur has agreed on this, we can simply ignore all this matter and the matter may be closed. Clear? So this is your homework. Rest all read point, but this is important. Just mark this important. What the point number 6? Question can be asked directly by the ICI. What question can be asked? What recommendation can be made by the QRG to QRB? After receiving a report from the technical reviewer, what recommendations can be made by the QRG to QRB? Clear? You can write the question as well if you want. Probable future question. What recommendations from QRG to QRB? Now let's come to reporting and other procedures. So reviewer, based on all the conclusions that is arrived at, he will issue what? First of all, preliminary report, right? Then he will be getting the reply representation from the AFUR. Subsequently, he will issue what? His final report. Now, final report shall be issued in a format which is specified by the quality review board. Just like the audit report format is specified by the institute, right? Specified in standard SA 700. The format is given, audit reporting. How it has to be done, framework is specified. Similarly, quality review board has specified the reporting format. From time to time, clean report indicates that technical reviewer is of the opinion that statutory audit is being conducted in a manner that ensures here, yes, AFUR has maintained the quality of audit services that was rendered. So no problem with that. However, reviewer may qualify the report due to one or more of the following. So this can again be asked, when can the technical reviewer qualify his report? Wherever there are 4 or 5 points, the institute can ask, even if it's the easiest of the easiest topic that you can think of. So technical reviewer can qualify the report based on one or more of the following reasons: non-compliance with technical standards, non-compliance with laws and regulation, non-compliance with quality control system design, and non-compliance with quality control policies and procedures. So PP, QCS, LR, PT, right? So these are more or less same. These all points we have already saw. We have already saw this in scope of quality review. Do you remember first question of this chapter, quality review chapter? The first question on first page. Scope of quality review. I told you, I remember PT, LR, QCS, PT, LR, QCS, and one was what?
Material misstatement.
MMS, right? Material misstatement. PTLR, QCS, MMS. PTLR, QCS, MMS. I also told you that in the scope we are also going to see what, whether the financial statement are materially misstated or not. That was not the case in peer review, right? So in the scope of quality review, we have to see PET, LR, QCS, MMS. PET, LR, QCS, MMS. Similarly, we can issue the qualified report based on this scope only. PET because of non-compliance with LR, non-compliance with QCS, and here again policies and procedures as well. I shared a jam file with the meeting. What happened, Pooja? Now let's come to basic elements of the reverse report. So element relating to audit quality of companies, and element relating to quality control framework adopted by the audit firm in the conducting of the audit. So basically our report, the technical reverse report will be divided in two parts. That means first part will be what? How the AFUR has conducted the audit, how the AFUR has conducted the company audit, the company because of which the quality review was done of the AFUR, the because of which AFUR has been picked up for the quality review, the same company how he has done the audit, the quality of audit that he has performed. For that particular audit, one part will be that the audit quality of the companies, and similarly the other part would be how is the quality control standard implemented in the firm, the framework of all the policies and procedures, law and regulation compliance. So all this scope will be also covered. This is in part B, quality control framework adopted by the audit firm in conducting the audit. That means what? Quality control standard, a full quality control standard has been designed to meet the requirements. Then reviewer concludes that modification in report is necessary. Description of the reasons for such modification. Wherever you are modifying the technical reviewer's report, that means technical reviewer is modifying his report. That means what? I'll also have to give what reasons for the modification. Whenever you are modifying, you will have to simply give the reasons, right? What we give in our basis for opinion para. Whenever we are qualifying our opinion, then we also state why we are qualifying our opinion on the basis for our opinion para, basis for opinion. Similarly, technical reviewer will also, whenever he is modifying his report, will also give the reason for modification. Reference will be given to the preliminary report. That means this is what? This is our final report. Final report in part B, you will also give reference to the preliminary report and attach all the described quality review conducted is in accordance with the quality review guidelines, guidance note. And here in the quality of the company, you will mention the scope of the quality review, what all things were your responsibility, what all points have you saw, the scope of the quality review, review of the audit firm conducted along with the limitations, and indicate the instances of lack of compliance with the technical standard, other professional and ethical standards. PT. So we'll just revise this again. That is not that much important, but yeah, you can just read and leave this. Come to last point, actions that may be recommended by QRB. So I told you what QRB will get recommendations from whom? QRG. So now actions that will be recommended by QRB, who will recommend to whom? Now QRB will recommend to Council of ICI, correct? So QRB now will recommend to Council of ICI to take actions. What all actions will be recommended by QRB? So it will make recommendation to the ICI Council for referring case to the director discipline. If at all they find that the case is grievant nature, he should have issued qualified opinion, but the auditor has given a clean report. No qualification is done. So in that case, he will recommend the case to the he will recommend the case to the he'll recommend the case to whom? Recommend the case to ICI Council for referring it to director discipline directorate. Right, then we can also issue advisory, right? I told you when can they can directly issue advisory to AFUR, when in the case of non-material non-compliances. The non-compliances are there, but those are not that much material which is affecting the opinion of the auditor. That means what? Auditor gave unqualified report, and still according to technical reviewer also the auditor should have given unqualified report only. However, there are certain non-compliances. Are you getting this? First was when the report is issued incorrect. That means what? The opinion is incorrect. The opinion of the auditor is expressed wrongly. It should have been qualified, but they have issued unqualified. Here in second case, issuing advisory to AFUL directly in the cases of non-material non-compliances, which is not affecting the opinion of the auditor. Opinion is still the same, but there are certain non-compliances, but that is not that much material. And the third one is to inform the details of all these non-compliances to all regulatory bodies as well, because the entities which has been referred by the NAFRA, insurance company, banking company, listed entity, all these all are also regulated by SEBI, IRDAI, RBI. So also along with the reporting to QRB, we will also have to recommendation or give report to the regulators as well, because they will also come to know the fact that the audit was done properly or not of these entities of which they are regulating. RBI is regulating, right? Then intimate the AFUR as well. AFUR tell them that their report was wrong or what actions are they recommending. And lastly, in case of review arising out of reference received from regulatory body, inform the results of the review. So what result is there? The details of the action taken to the concerned regulatory body, and consider the matter complete and inform the audit firm. So last is more or less last 2-3 points you need to try to learn. First 3 points is very easy. You either you will make recommendation to the council or ICI council for referring the case to the director discipline, or based on the second recommendation you can just normally advise, give advisory or give opinion to the AFUR directly, right, to improve upon the system of quality controls. And thirdly, you can inform the details of the non-compliance to regulatory bodies. Also, then you have to intimate AFUR or through the findings of the report. And lastly, consider the matter complete and inform the audit firm. So these are the actions that may be recommended by the quality review board. Now here comes just above that one table is there consideration of the reports of QRG. So report on audit quality by auditor of public sector undertaking. So here if you are seeing the public sector undertaking, suppose ONGC, you are seeing the auditor of ONGC, you are going through the quality review of auditor and who has done the audit of ONGC. So this is a PSU case. So depend on case to case basis, but QRG recommendation of QRG will be generally furnished to C&AG also. C&AG also it will be furnished because it's a public sector undertaking, and CAG's views will be put up before the quality review board. That means what QRG generally in normal cases what QRG was doing, generally QRG was directly referring all the recommendations were given to the QRB, but here they will also recommend it to the C&AG because it's a PSU. But definitely it will depend on case to case basis. In the PSU that is other than case to case basis, the case where the quality review board has specified in point 1, other than those cases, quality review group's recommendation plus quality review board decisions on quality of audit shall be furnished to the C&AG lastly. So lastly, when everything is over, that means QRB's recommendation forwarded to QRG, and along with the QRG decision, what they have decided, QRG's recommendation plus QRB's decision, both will be finally at the last will be forwarded to C&AG. And thirdly, other than PSUs, that means normal company, listed company, insurance company, or any sort of other than entities other than PSUs, this will be reported to the QRB directly. No C&AG will be involved here. And if QRB decides against the recommendation of the QRG, then they will also have to record the reasons that they are not accepting the recommendations recommended by the quality review groups. Clear with this table? MCQ can be asked. They have specified all this in a paragraph form. I have converted this into tabular format. First is the PSU case to case basis that they might specify the case. So in that case, in between quality review group to quality review board, you will also have to report to the C&AG and then forward it to quality review board. But other than case to case basis, PSU's quality review along with the quality review group recommendation plus quality review board decisions, both this will be forwarded to C&AG also. And other than PSU, yeah, no C&AG is involved, you will just refer the case or recommendation will be recommended to the quality review board. Quality review board will decide accordingly based on their prudence, and if at all they go against the recommendation of QRG, then they will have to report or they will have to record the reasons thereof. So now the second work is your the last third point, type of report to be issued. So what type of report can you issue? You can just go through this, not that typical, but yeah, two homeworks I have given to you. Quality review chapter is over. Please do this reading of these two topics as well as revise the same. ठीक है, revise कर लेना पूरा. We will try tomorrow to have a revisionary session of quality review, because I know it's a very sort of technical chapter where a lot of things has to be memorized, and even if the concept is very much clear, but still have to revise again and again. So we'll just have a revisionary session of quality review, plus we will discuss the test. Or you want me to discuss now? Everyone has given the test? No? Why? Yes, everyone given the test or not? Krupali, Kapil, Arnab, Nupur? Huh? Given the text or not?
No, sir.
No, why? Mehak, Nikita? Yes, Mehak is given. Nikita, Suneshwaran, Pooja?
Sir, given, sir.
So why others have not given. Nikita, Nupur, why? When are you planning to give them? If you will be postponing, it will get postponed again and again. You'll have to sit. What?
Sir, I've given the test.
You have given the test.
How will you guys?
So those who have not given, Sagar, Nupur, Pooja, Arnab, whoever has not given, give it by today. Then I'll be discussing tomorrow, and then we'll also revise the quality review. Okay? So do revise the quality review chapter once. Read these two topics that I have given you as homework, and just go through the chapter for half an hour or so. Okay? Just go give it a reading. Try to recollect. Try to recollect first. We just completed the chapter. Okay? You will be able to recall few of the provisions, and then we'll also recollect some of the provisions tomorrow. P test will happening tomorrow only. Tomorrow is no such new session. It will be a revisionary session and a discussion on test. Test will be there on professional ethics. You can give it by EOD by tomorrow end of day. Yeah, by tomorrow end of the day. We'll try to discuss it day after tomorrow then. ठीक है? You have to give a bit more effort to stay afloat. If not, then the topics will be over, but you will not be able to cope up with that later on. It will be not of a beneficial. This class won't be that much beneficial if you are not revising it along with the class, giving the test, getting it. So it will all go vain. Every effort that you are making, that even I am making, all the efforts will go futile. So try to take that extra time for these 2 3 4 days, next 4 3 4 days, or you can I can say for next month. Okay, in a matter of 1 month, or 10th or 15th July, we'll be able to finish off the entire audit, everything. So if you are able to do this along with me, that you are able to revise it once with me and also giving the test, you will see the kind of confidence that you will see while you are revising other subjects. So when suppose you pick up SFM, now you have done FR or SFM, any subject that you pick up, you will see that okay, I'm not able to recollect, right? You can not able to recollect the sums. Why? Because you have now done the revision along with the batch. So I particularly remember that in my audit and law, uh, when I did the classes, I also gave the test, and particularly during my first revision, I was most comfortable with these two subjects. SFM I completely got blanked. FR I did as if like I was doing it for first time, like by myself only. I even left the books. I had started with the study mat only. Same with SFM. So it's like doing it self alone, even after doing the classes. So class is of no use then, right? It will be useful only and only when you are revising, giving the test along with the classes. Definitely 20% you will be able to recall, but not the 100%. What are we here for? To understand and also to retain, recall. I say won't be giving marks just on the understanding the concept basis, right? So we have to understand, we have to learn everything. We have to try to think of what questions can be asked. Try to write all the points. Just beside this, I've given notes. If at all the space for notes is given, try to scribble along with classes or scribble along with your revision. Go through compiler, go through MCQ book, or any sort of, if you want to solve, you can try to solve RTP, MTPs. You will have to do all these things that you will find then comfortable in your second revision when you will sit for your last 6 months or last 4 to 5 months. Everyone is having, I think, the exam in November or May 23. Everyone is having exam in November, right?
Yes,
November
sir.
23. So not much time
Yes,
left.
sir.
You will have to revise along with me only then. So try to give time from office, or if at all you are going to office, then give time in the office. Give time while you are traveling, commuting anywhere. Even I used to do what I used to revise while I am eating as well. So that has to be done for next few months. You have to be on your toes, right? So revise accordingly. Revise quality review also. Revise your peer review, professional ethics also. Tomorrow is the test. You have sufficient days. It's not like you will have to start revising from now. If you are starting today, then it might be a difficult. But revise accordingly. Professional ethics as well as quality review, both. Professional ethics test is tomorrow. Quality review, come and revise. We'll revise again tomorrow, and we'll also discuss on text audit. Okay? Everyone who has not given till now, please give it. Chalo, we'll see you tomorrow then. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.